Does life ever feel dreamy to you? Are you feeling disconnected from yourself? Do you feel like you're watching a movie about yourself? Do you feel generally out of it? If you answered yes to at least one of these questions, then you might be suffering from depersonalization and derealization disorder. And if that's the case, watch the whole video to understand what you're going through and how you can recover from it. Hey there, I wanted to make this easy to understand video about depersonalization and derealization. I want you to know the basics of how you can recover from this illness. All of this is covered in depth in my online course called DP No More. So if you're looking for a step-by-step guide that will teach you how to recover from DPDR, be sure to check it out. There will be a link in the description. Okay, let's talk a little bit about DPDR. Most people watching this video will have some basic understanding of what it is, but in the interest of everyone, I'm just going to start with the basics of what DPDR is. When you feel as though you're not yourself, or you feel as though you are watching a movie about yourself, then you may be experiencing depersonalization. And when you feel as if you're living in a dream world, or when your environment looks strange or unreal, then that can be a sign of derealization. Most often, people who experience one of these disorders will experience the other to a certain degree. From here on, I'm going to be collectively referring to them as DPDR. Okay, so what are some of the causes of DPDR? There are a few reasons why someone can come to feel this way. Let me list out some of the major causes and triggers here. Number one is adverse reaction to marijuana or weed. Many people, especially teenagers, smoke marijuana or eat edibles containing cannabis, not knowing their personal limit. When they experience a strong reaction, they start panicking. And once the panic sets in, they're unsure how to work their way out of it. They may even experience a full-blown panic attack. After that, they may feel like they're disconnected from their environment and even from themselves. One might try to sleep it off, hoping that it'll go away after some rest, but when they wake up, they find that they cannot shake this feeling off. Number two, through chronic stress. Stress can create a havoc on your body. It upsets the delicate balance that's inside of you. Stress can increase the levels of certain hormones in your body, namely adrenaline and cortisol. Such an increase in hormonal levels can lead to developing depersonalization and derealization. Some examples of chronic stress can be an abusive relationship, going through divorce, death of a loved one, job loss, and even lockdowns and pandemics. They can put a severe stress on someone. Number three, from trauma. Psychological trauma is a kind of damage that happens to one's mind and one's sense of self. This kind of damage is especially common in childhood where we're most vulnerable. But it is also possible to develop trauma in adulthood from a severely distressing event. Common causes for developing trauma in childhood are physical and sexual abuse. When our caregivers are emotionally callous with us, then it's possible to develop trauma from that as well. One can also develop trauma from war or from an automotive accident, from burglary, etc. The body and mind dissociate so that the person can function in such a high stress environment. Depersonalization and derealization may happen as a way of preventing such a breakdown. We may feel cut off from our negative emotions, so we don't get overwhelmed. But as a result, we get cut off from positive emotions as well. Positive emotions like love, happiness, and joy. We may become numb and our world might become unreal. We lose our sense of self and we may feel like a lost soul wandering the planet. There are a number of other causes that could trigger DPDR, and I've actually previously done a video listing out over 13 different causes and triggers. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description to that video. Okay, so what are the symptoms? So while each person experiences DPDR in a slightly different way, most people experience certain common symptoms. Here are some of the major symptoms of DPDR. Detachment from self, feeling as though one is watching a movie about oneself. A sense that one is not in control of one's thoughts or actions. Reality may seem dreamlike or unreal. Emotional numbness, unable to feel pain, unable to feel joy, unable to feel happiness. Distorted sense of time. Disconnection from memories and the past. Your memories can seem vague. Prone to many fearful thoughts like, am I going crazy? Is this insanity? Excessively concerned with existential and philosophical questions like, why am I here? How do I exist? Is this existence dreamlike or is this real? Am I dead and in some kind of purgatorial world? And experiencing somatic symptoms like a blunt pressure on your forehead, general dizziness and weightlessness in your arms and your legs, sometimes tightness in your chest. Sometimes you feel like your mind is just blank. You don't have any thoughts. There can also be perceptual alterations like visual snow or seeing halo around lights. Now that we've seen a list of major symptoms, let's take a look at some of the fears one can experience when going through DPDR. Most people who go through DPDR tend to become really afraid to the point that it starts affecting their quality of life. They can experience the following fears: fear of going crazy or fear of insanity, fear of never getting better. The sufferer may see no light at the end of the tunnel. One can think that things are going to be always like this. Fear of developing schizophrenia or some kind of brain damage. You can also experience a constant feeling of doom, and you might never want to leave the comfort and safety of your room. There can be a lot more. With DPDR, you become someone who is afraid all the time. Even people who were once very courageous and brash can become a shell of their former self. Being in this constant fear mode can lead to having panic attacks. This can debilitate your life. You stop seeing your friends. You stop opening up to your family members because you think that they might not be able to understand you. As each day goes by, you become hopeless. This happened to me. I went through years of DPDR with no hope in sight. But fortunately, over time, through many trials and errors, I was able to fully recover. So if there's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, it's this: you can recover. Let's talk about the path to recovery. The path to recovery from DPDR consists of the following 4 major steps. Build the right understanding. Establish a foundation of safety. Change the way we react to DPDR and its symptoms. And finally, resolve underlying issues. Let's look at these in detail. The right understanding. Recovery from an illness always starts with the right understanding of what that illness is. Until now, you may not have had a clear idea of what DPDR is, or perhaps you may even be misinformed. There's a lot of incorrect information out there. This lack of knowledge or having incorrect information may be keeping you from recovering. If this is the case, then you need to educate yourself about this condition. Read the articles on my blog. Watch the rest of the videos on my YouTube channel. Slowly, you'll understand what is happening to you. With the right understanding, you'll see that what you're experiencing is nothing out of the normal. This will help you calm yourself down. this is the first step. If you're looking for a complete guide that will help you build this right understanding and help you get to recovery, then do check out DP No More. This is my online course for depersonalization and derealization recovery that is based on neuroscience and actually has been responsible for so many success stories. Establish a foundation of safety. DPDR takes away our feeling of safety. This is the primary reason why you feel threatened by DPDR. You feel unsafe, and because of that, you tend to get scared easily. And this fear keeps you from recovering. So, to overcome this, you are going to build a solid foundation of safety. This will help you not get scared of DPDR symptoms. You falsely judge DPDR as a threat even when it's not. So, learn the truth about DPDR and use that to create your sense of safety, which has gone missing from your life. Check out my video about creating a deep sense of safety. I'll leave a link in the description. Change your approach to DPDR. DPDR may torment you at this moment. You feel like if you don't fight it day and night, it will just consume you. But what if this approach is totally wrong? What if fighting the DPDR symptoms is what's actually keeping it going in the first place? Is there a better way to deal with these symptoms instead? Well, fighting the DPDR does not work. Even though that's what your instincts are telling you to do now, fighting the symptoms only makes things worse. Instead, you must learn to accept the symptoms and write them out. If that sounds confusing to you, then you're not alone. But I'm going to leave you with some of the articles on my blog and links to some of my videos that you need to watch. And after that, you will come to understand why acceptance is the only approach that works. Resolve underlying issues. You might be a victim of trauma, or you might be someone who's going through a stressful time right now. Your body and mind might have become stuck with DPDR because of these underlying issues. You are going to learn how to relieve yourself of stress and trauma. In doing so, you're going to find relief from DPDR and its symptoms. If you're stuck in a terrible relationship, or if you're stuck in a job that you hate, then without resolving that first, you cannot expect to fully recover from DPDR. If you're just stuck inside of your room and spending a lot of time on Facebook or YouTube, and you're not eating properly, you're not living a normal, healthy life, then that can severely affect your chances of recovery as well. And I know, right now we're going through this pandemic, everybody's stuck indoors, but there are still things that you can do to control that, to offset the stress that you're experiencing from that. I personally work out indoors. I try to go sit in my garden and get some sun. So there are still ways to offset the stress that you're experiencing if you're getting stuck indoors. Some of you may be doing everything right, yet still you experience DPDR. If that's the case, then see if there's anything in your life that is out of balance. Maybe you're not even aware of what's really bothering you. A good question to ask is, if DPDR were to vanish tomorrow, what else in my life is bothering me? Figure that out and see if you can work on resolving those issues. Working with a good therapist can help in this process. Learn to cultivate patience. At the end of the day, you've got to learn to be patient. Recovery from DPDR does not happen overnight. It takes time. And during that time, your intensity can go up or down. You'll get breaks from DPDR for a few hours or weeks, and then you'll suddenly get hit with the symptoms again. This is a setback, but don't lose heart. Keep doing what you are doing. That is, follow the principles that are outlined here. Slowly but surely, your body and mind will heal. They know how to heal. That healing mechanism is part of us. Trust that the healing process will happen. All right, that's mostly it. I wanted to create this video so that someone can have a basic idea of what DPDR is and how to recover from it. If you're currently struggling from DPDR and you want a clear-cut resource or a step-by-step guide and a plan to get you to recovery, then look into DP No More. It's the course that I wished I had when I was going through DPDR. So that's why after fully recovering from DPDR, I created the best online resource out there that guides people towards recovery. So many people have been able to recover with the help of DP No More, and you can be one of them as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. I wish you a successful full recovery. Stay hopeful, stay positive. You'll get through this.